Hello and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Ariel from Blessed with Motherhood. I'm starting to plan out our 4th year using Ambleside Online. We did start in year 0, so this will be our 3rd formal year using Ambleside Online, but I thought this would be a great time to discuss why we chose Ambleside Online over other Charlotte Mason curriculum. And I'm going to be mostly focusing on the big 3, Ambleside Online versus the Alveary versus the CMEC. There are other Charlotte Mason curriculums that we have used and like very much. These 3 tend to be the most popular among Charlotte Mason homeschoolers, so that's why I'm going to be covering those. We've also used A Gentle Feast for reading as well as curriculum from the Peaceful Press. I'll discuss that more probably once I get to those topics, but it's not just these 3, but these 3 are the most similar. What initially first drew me to Ambleside Online was that it was free. I know the Alveary and the CMEC do charge a yearly membership of about $300. You do get a lot of benefits with that, but I really like that Ambleside Online was free, that I could really make it my own without feeling like I just paid for all this curriculum and then I'm changing it without that guilt of not using what I paid for. That's always okay to do with anything. I mean, even curriculum I do pay for, I will change stuff. So it's not a big deal, but I just felt very comfortable really making our curriculum our own, because this is our main curriculum. This is the spine of everything that we use. So Ambleside Online can be free completely. You can use almost all the books they have listed are in the public domain. So you can use computer or tablet to read them. You really don't have to spend any money on this curriculum to still get a feast of education. But I am a book person, so I was okay with having the majority of, the main part of the curriculum be free, and then being able to thrift all the books on their list. I really appreciate that they have a master book list for the whole 12 years, so that I'm able to thrift like a few years in advance too. Like, if I come across it, I printed out their master book list. I actually printed out their master book list, and I'm able to highlight books we have, books I've thrifted, and just kind of keep it with me, or whenever I go thrifting, take it along, because then I'm able to kind of have a lot of time to get everything thrifted. So if I want to buy all these books secondhand, I'm okay with investing a little bit more in these books since I know that I'm able to reuse them. So that was another big pro for Ambleside Online, is the fact that this is very tangible curriculum that doesn't expire. So I was very comfortable investing in these books because I'm able to use them for each student. So at least 3 more times after my oldest goes through it. That seems like a really great deal in how much we spend on homeschooling. I feel also that I can allocate our budget more towards other things like math curriculum or language arts or typing or cursive or whatever we need. I feel like I have that budget to do more with, since I'm saving on our biggest curriculum and I'm able to reuse it year after year. I really liked that when I looked over the book lists, there were quite a few that I already had when I was building our home library. So books that I had wanted us to read anyway were on the curriculum. So that was a huge plus, because then I would have to buy less books and then also read books that I was hoping to read. I know with Ambleside Online that it can kind of seem like their books are very just old and outdated, but there are quite a lot of classical books, and I felt that was a really good fit for us. The Alveary is known for having lots more modern books, and I do add in modern and more like diverse books into our homeschool, but I enjoy being able to be the one that picks those and adds those in. And I really wanted to read classic books with my children because I did not grow up with any of these classics. And there's lots that I wanted to read, but also quite a few that I've never heard of and have just been so impressed with. So their book lists might seem older, and maybe that is a con for you, but this was a pro for me because I was really excited to read all these books that I know are classics and that like some of my favorite authors grew up and loved reading, like Lewis and Tolkien. They loved George MacDonald, and I had no idea who he was until Ambleside Online. And since we started reading his books, and I can see so much of their work was inspired by him. Now, with the Alveary and the CMEC, I don't know too much what is behind the paywall, but since I do follow people that use the curriculum, I will catch glimpses of what books they use or what they're doing every once in a while. And the CMEC especially seems like there is some overlap with books a lot of the time. So I do feel very comfortable that Ambleside Online's book lists are really solid and really well done. They took the time to research through all the parents' reviews, articles, any books that were recommended, any books that Charlotte Mason was recommending. They took the time to add those in. And so it's always nice to see the other ones using those books too, because then you know those are going to be really good books. Now, while the other two do have great advantages with community and resources, I know they really have like a lot of videos that teach you how to implement Charlotte Mason. Ambleside Online does have this too. It just requires more digging, and that's okay for me. That's not something that I waste too much time on, even when I'm digging into it, because all the parents' reviews, articles are on Ambleside Online. It's a little bit hard to comb through their website, so I'll normally just like Google parents review article, how do I narrate in year one, or something similar to that, and I can usually find it by typing Ambleside Online in the Google along with whatever I'm searching for, and it will give me the exact web page or article that I need. So there isn't too much time wasted with all this digging. It's less convenient, of course, but I'm still so impressed that it's free. Their communities on Facebook are great. They are a plethora of free resources that other homeschooling families make and share for free, what they're using. It's so impressive. And I love reading what other people are doing. There is a con with the Facebook group in the sense that some of the questions you might ask if you're trying to maybe not use a book or replace it or something like that, you will get some backlash at times. But I've often found that the backlash comes from not necessarily people that are using Ambleside Online. So that is the downfall, is there are quite a few in the community that are using Ambleside Online and Charlotte Mason homeschoolers, but there are also some that aren't using the curriculum at all and also do not follow the Charlotte Mason method. Following the Charlotte Mason method, you don't have to be a purist. I have questioned her a lot, but I also think that there's been so many times where I've been wrong, where I'm like, why would I do exams? Or why would I do this? Or why would I do that? But then I feel this tug after reading all about her stuff to give it a try, and then I see why. So it's not like you have to follow everything in her methods to like purist standards or perfectly. Even the Ambleside Online advisory team did not follow everything Ambleside Online says to do. So I felt really comfortable that since they also said they didn't follow stuff completely to a T, that you are not expected to. You are okay to make the curriculum your own, add stuff in, take stuff out, but just like also giving it a try that it might be there for a reason. Like Parables from Nature this year, we used it. We'll use this book for a few years, and I liked it. I liked it a lot last year, and I still like it. It is time consuming, and it just wasn't fitting our schedule this year, so I ended up dropping it. And since we use it for a few more years, I'm okay with picking up where we left off or adding in stuff over the summer to kind of still use it, but just not use it at this crucial time. So it's nice to give stuff a try, but it's also really nice how flexible Ambleside Online is. Their schedules that you print out are in PDF format, so you can really take stuff out easily, make it your own, change it, customize it. It's so nice, and you can add in whatever you want, delete whatever you want. You can also just print it out if you didn't want to add change the PDF stuff, then you could just print it out and just cross stuff out and add stuff in with pens. So it's so flexible and customizable, but the groundwork is already there, and it feels really nice to be able to just tweak small things and really tailor it to each individual child. They also have a forum on their website, which I think is the hidden gem of their community. It does take a little bit longer maybe to get answers because Facebook is instant. But if you don't need that instant gratification, the forum is so good, because I would say, I think everybody on there, because it is so old school, does in fact use Ambleside Online. So you will get more accurate answers if you say, hey, I'm going to take out parables of nature. What should I add in? Or should I add anything in? Or anything like that. Whatever questions you have, you'll get a more accurate answer. It will just take a little bit more time. But there is also so many suggestions and hidden resources there. The Facebook group has the files section with amazing free resources. So they do have really good, solid 2 communities that just take a little bit more time to dig through, but they have been around since 1999, and so there are so many, obviously not Facebook, but I don't know how long their website's been around for, but at least they have a ton of just stuff that they've accumulated over the years on their site, and however long the Facebook community has been around. I also appreciate that since they've been around, the Alveary is celebrating their 10th year this year, so they're getting up there with how long. I'm not sure exactly how long the CMEC has been around for, but maybe, I think it's at least 2000 something, in the at least maybe 2015, maybe about the same as the Alveary. I'm not entirely sure, but the Ambleside Online has had lots more time to have students go from year 0 to year 12. And so you can kind of hear from the veteran moms, they're able to have had lots of people go through this curriculum and share what worked, what didn't work. Was it possible that your kid graduated high school, and what did you do? So I really like having that solid groundwork that's already been done, and having lots of veteran moms that have homeschooled use this and be done with it and say this is it. Yes, I did it the whole time. So that's always really reassuring and comforting, and was a huge plus as well. Con for a lot of people for Ambleside Online is their history cycle, that you don't start with American history. If you're an American, you don't start with the US history or whatever country, unless you're British. You don't start with it in year 1. This was not a con for me, because I had planned to lay that groundwork in year 0. I wanted to read through the Little House series with my kiddos at the time, and I had planned to use the Playful Pioneers. We had been using the Peaceful Preschool. This was my second time using it, so I used it for both my older 2 so far, and I really liked her gentleness and how closely she follows a lot of Charlotte Mason's philosophies. So I was excited to use the Playful Pioneers, which covers a lot of American history, learning about the Native Americans and the pioneers, and even pilgrims. You just learn so much, and I was okay with that being less formal and a little bit more gentle, and we were able to visit all of Laura Ingalls Wilder's homesteads, not Farmer Boy in New York, but all the ones in the Midwest. We were able to go and see all those sites. So we got lots of firsthand experience with American history. And I think that was just a wonderful thing we could do to lay that American history groundwork, but keeping it less formal because it was year zero. Then it was also nice to then jump into British history, because the British history is part of American history, technically, at least the European side of things. America as a whole, the United States of America is not that old with our history. So it was nice to dive really far back and to kind of learn a bunch of stuff that kind of ties into America later on. So that wasn't a problem for me. I know lots of people do have a problem with that, so that might be a con against Ambleside Online for you, but that's how we navigated it. I know we will be studying American history either this upcoming year or the next, so it'll be fun to dive deeper into that. But you could also just change what you do for history. If you are determined to use Ambleside Online but do not like the history cycles, then you can just see what books they do use for American history in the later years, and I think just bring it down, and also to maybe just require less reading at a time, or as you get older in the years, you will have narration that's written rather than oral. So if your kid is younger, you just have them orally narrate everything still rather than write it. So I think that's something that's very easily adaptable. Another thing is with other curriculums, even a Gentle Feast, your whole family is doing history in one cycle. So everybody's on the same cycle. At least I think with Gentle Feast. I could be wrong, but at least with the other two big ones, everybody is on the same history cycle. But you can do that with Ambleside Online. You could follow your oldest and just have everyone be on that history cycle, and load the work up or down depending on the age, and just kind of change the narration or whatever you need to do to kind of fit each age group. So there is also Ambleside Online groups, which sometimes can seem a little bit complicated, but they have a video on their site that really made sense to me. It seems a little bit difficult to explain it. I'd probably have to watch it again and then try to implement it to really feel like I knew what I was talking about. But they do have options for groups, and that is something if you want to combine years with children, not have 3 different children in 3 different years. So you could do that with history as well. I think that's something that's not too much trouble to just adapt and make those changes. Another plus for Ambleside Online was that you can plan in advance. So I said that you can take a look at the book list and all the curriculum choices from year 0 all the way through 12. The Ambleside Online is able to just offer their whole curriculum because it doesn't change. So you're able to really plan in advance too, not just with books, but like maybe you see something at a thrift store and you're like, this would be great for year 5 that is coming down the road because you're going to be studying this. So taking a look at the years in advance is also a big benefit to those very thrifty moms like myself. So that was another huge plus, is I know what I'm in for as the years go on, and I can kind of keep my eye out for board games or anything that I wanted to tie into our lessons. With the Alveary and the CMEC, a con for me was that you get access to 1 year's worth of curriculum at a time for each year's membership. I think the CMEC, you are able to get access to the year before so long as you were a member. I don't know how far in advance or how far back that goes, if you've been a member since like the beginning, if you have access to every time you've ever been a member, so long as you keep up your membership. But I know at least with the Alveary, it's June from 1 year to June next year. You are able to download and print out all of those things that you use. You just have to make sure that you do that. So if you forget, or things or life takes a bit of a turn, I just felt like that was a little bit harder for me, should there be like a newborn stage in life or something that I think lots of moms can do it great, but I feel like I would be the type to think I downloaded it, didn't I? But like completely forget and then lose it all or not finish on time, because we are also year-round homeschoolers. So I like to be able to have my planning done around this time in February now. I'm already doing my planning. So with May, we will end our term 3. This year's going to be different because my daughter will be born. But then I'm hoping to, depending on how I feel, my goal is to start back in July. But if I need that extra month, it would be August, then I'm sure. But typically when I'm not having a baby, we like to start back in July. So we end in May, kind of break for June a little bit, maybe not all of June, I'm not sure, but usually July we're back at it. So I like the flexibility to be a year-round homeschooler, not necessarily follow the academic calendar, and to be able to plan when I feel ready. I do feel ready. I think a lot of moms feel ready to start planning in February. So it's nice to have that option, to be able to plan when you need to and start when you want to. So with all that being said, I think that no matter which of the 3 you choose, or even if you don't choose any of these 3, they're all very well done curriculum, at least as far as I can tell with the other 2, because it's behind a paywall. But I've heard so many great things that I trust those people that say amazing things about them. But I am completely, wholeheartedly in love with the Ambleside Online curriculum, and that's why we chose it. At this moment, I think we'll go all the way through year 12 using it, but who knows? Opinions change. But I mean, I've looked at so many of the later years, and I'm so excited for them. It all really depends on my children and how it goes with them. So if I ever felt it wasn't working for us, then I'd look into other options. But it just, at this moment, is such a perfect fit for our family. And I really love that it's free and it uses all the old books. That is just why we use Ambleside Online over the other 2 big ones. Now I want to leave you with something to just watch out for if you are a new Charlotte Mason homeschooler, and that is curriculum that says it's Charlotte Mason but isn't. Now, this might not be a big deal, and it doesn't mean that it's bad curriculum, but if you are very new to the Charlotte Mason philosophy or a new homeschooler and really want to find some solid Charlotte Mason curriculum, and then you see like stuff that claims to be Charlotte Mason but clearly isn't following it, or a big red flag is usually Charlotte Mason inspired. It's usually going to take a detour from her philosophies. So those are just things to watch out for. There was a big thing recently too with a current curriculum company telling everybody what Charlotte Mason was and kind of putting the philosophy down. You can listen to the new Mason Jar podcast for all that information, but there is also a lot of misconceptions about Charlotte Mason. So it's really good to have knowledge of her philosophy and what she's really like, what she had said, what Charlotte Mason said about education, to really understand her philosophy, because there are lots and lots of misconceptions about this method of home education. So that's just something to keep an eye out for, especially like smaller companies that say they're Charlotte Mason and there's not too many other people using them in the Charlotte Mason community, or they're just very new. It's just something to kind of take with a grain of salt and watch out for. I think if you're going to choose curriculum that is Charlotte Mason, try to find well-established companies that really know her methods and follow them. If you found this discussion really helpful, if you're deciding between these big 3, especially if you're on the fence about Ambleside Online, either I persuaded you to use it or I persuaded you to go with the other 2. Both of those are fine. I would love to hear from you in the comments why you chose the curriculum you did, if you're a Charlotte Mason homeschooler, or if you use Ambleside Online too, or if you use the other ones, and why you love them, why you love the Alveary, or why you love the CMEC. That's always exciting for me. I don't know. I'm kind of a homeschool nerd, but that's always exciting for me to read why people love a certain curriculum, why they use it, because it's great knowledge too to pass on to other people that maybe are curious about that curriculum, and just keep in the back of my mind should we decide to look elsewhere for a curriculum. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope these videos are very helpful, and I will see you next time.